Okay, so this is the Jake Harris PT podcast. I've got a good friend, Rob, not Sean, as it might say in the bottom corner, Rob, who has kindly come on the podcast, and we're just going to speak about kind of why he's into fitness, or certainly has been the past couple of years, and has gotten into more competitions and doing some runs and triathlons and such, and then speak about an injury that he had not long back. So Rob, as always, I kind of let the guest introduce themselves, so if you just want to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about yourself.
All right, so I'm Sean. I'm Rob. Um, I work as a PE teacher in a primary school Jay used to work at. That's how we met. So I couldn't really ever get away from you. But, you just followed me around. I
That's
know,
true.
work as a PE teacher at a primary school, but before that, kind of just left school, went to college, uni, but all through that time I was coaching sports, just every sport under the sun, really. And then took a job with Everton in the community. And after that, are we allowed to say the name of the school?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
just the
so.
school.
Yeah,
Yeah, at Kensington Primary. So I've been there for like that, 12 years maybe.
yeah, something like that. So, like, that's kind of what I've never really asked you, but when you left school, like, did you know that you wanted to be into sports? Like, I don't think I've ever asked you like much about this, so it's going to be new to
Uh,
me.
yeah. Well, I started coaching like when I was 15. So I just like went down, was helping out this local football team. And then after 3 weeks, like one of the guys had fallen out with my dad, who was running the club at the time. And dad was like, "Yeah, Rob, you're taking this team now." So like, I don't know, 6 months later, I don't think we won a single game. Well, it wasn't Klopp, like we didn't win a game, and I'd parents proper abusing me and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just loved the coaching and just carried it on since then, really, and just got as many like coaching qualifications and badges and in a lot of different sports as I could, really. Jack of all
Like,
trades.
how active was you before, like, you started doing any coaching and that? Was you active in schools and stuff?
Yeah. I like we know the kid, don't we? Like I was that kid going to every an after school sports club every day. It didn't really matter what it was. I think in secondary school, because like I did primary school in Ireland, I did 6 months primary school here. So primary school in Ireland, there wasn't like a lot of extracurricular sport going on. There wasn't a lot of sport and PE going on.
Yeah.
Just where I grew up, it's not like might not be fair to say in Ireland in general, but yeah, secondary school 5 years. I played football every lunchtime for 5 years, and I don't know, I played basketball, football, cricket, even though it's the worst sport ever. Um, Table tennis, badminton, tennis. Tennis is another rubbish sport as well, isn't it? I'm only joking. Um, no, just active every day, really. Just trying to stay in the house.
Yeah. So, like, did you know when you started doing your coaching, did you know you wanted to, like, do a range of sports, or did you think, I'll go into, especially doing like the footy one at the start, did you think, I'll go down the footy coaching route and that's it, or did you expect to do?
Yeah, well, I'd say like when um, when I first started coaching, I wanted to do it as a job. Just and like well, it was coaching football. I wanted to get into I wanted to get into a Premier League club, um, and coach at an academy or something like that. And I wanted to get my A license and take my football coaching to as high a level as possible as I could. And I got to kind of B license, and uh, it just wasn't for me, really.
Mm.
Just I got to a certain level. I don't know if I got bored. I don't know if that's but yeah, just maybe like the elitist attitude I didn't really enjoy. It was really cutthroat. I was doing like a coaching development centre for Everton FC when I was working for Everton in the community, and just the way they get kids in and at the time get kids in and get rid of them.
Mm.
Like you'd say to a kid, oh, you got a chance in this development centre, but you've only got 2 weeks to show us. Oh, and in those 2 weeks, that's only 120 minutes. So you had parents literally like pinning all their hopes
Yeah.
on this thing, and I mean, I had very little input as to whether a kid stayed or went. We just kind of gave our opinions and stuff like that. But I didn't really like it. Centre, you're really good at football. You're better than 99% of the population, because I didn't get a chance in the academy. I'm guessing you didn't. Like, how many people can actually say that? So to get to even that level, it's hard enough. So yeah, I mean, I wanted to take the football as high as I could, but and I also did goalkeeping coaching. You knew that about me, didn't you? And probably that's when I was about 2021. I was working for a company called Just for Keepers. That's when I started to come away from like coaching outfield to coaching goalkeepers, and I absolutely loved it. It's probably still to this day one of my favourite jobs I've ever done. But I didn't continue with that, just for a couple of different reasons, and then I got into coaching. I can't even remember what I did after that. That long ago now. Yeah, have I answered the question?
Yeah. Like I want to know, like, how did you get into like the goalkeeping side of stuff? Like, that's like, obviously, I mean, whether it's because I'm about 3'1", but I can't imagine myself doing like goalkeeping coaching. Do you know what I mean? So how did you go into like that type of?
Yeah, it was weird, because I never played in goal in my life, like even on the playground or like in the schoolyard when we were kids. Like, I had a noodle wrist, as we used to say about one of our friends. Like, I was a terrible goalkeeper. And my younger brother Sam, he started going to this goalkeeping session, and I was bored one Saturday. I went along and I was watching, and I went for a few weeks, and then I got talking to the guy who was running it, and he wanted to run like an outfielder session beside the goalkeeper session. So every couple of weeks, that like the outfielders could come in and do shooting practice and crossing and stuff like that. So the attackers or the outfield players and the keepers got something in the session. We did that for a while, but it didn't really work. Like, the attendance wasn't really amazing, because it was called Just for Keepers. So like, I don't know why I wasn't really involved in that, but then I just really took an interest in like the goalkeeping coaching, and we worked together for 5 years, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty good at most things sports I turn my hand to. I can break stuff down, for people to understand
useless at that, like.
Yeah, that's still true. But yeah, I just got into it that way. I kind of fell into it backwards, but I loved it. And the guy I work for as well, he was an absolutely fantastic fella too to work for, until the relationship broke down, and that's the only reason I came away from it. Yeah.
So how did you get into working in the school then? I don't really know like the full story of what made you go into like kind of PE teaching, because similar to myself, obviously I never went to uni or nothing, so I kind of touch lucky getting my job role, or I think I touch lucky getting my job role at the school. But I want to know like your side. How did you get into it and whatever else?
Yeah, well, I'm a little bit different. I did go to university. I went to Hope, but I lasted a year. When I say lasted, I did the first year and just decided not to continue, because like at the time it just wasn't for me. I wanted to get out and work, and life wasn't going fast enough for me. Now looking back, it's such a stupid decision. If I was talking to anyone now who like, because I was coaching at this time, I was able to work, but not work 40 hours a week or whatever, so what you're taught you're supposed to do when you leave school. I'd be saying to myself now, just stay in, because then you have the degree at the end of that, and you can still do everything else you're doing. But so I left uni after a year, and then went straight into the goalkeeping. And then when the goalkeeping, I remember when I finished. Now I had a knee operation, and I was out for like 6 weeks or something like that. And then I just kind of had a falling out with the guy, with the boss, just about stupid stuff. And then I kind of came away from coaching and sport, because I'd been doing it for 6 or 7 years at that time, and I was like, oh well, I can't really earn proper money or have a proper career in this. So I was like driving diggers and wagons for my dad, and like helping run a few jobs. That's construction. And then kind of I applied for a job at David Lloyd's, like gym. And I was like a kids activity coordinator there, or like a coach. Did a bit of lifeguarding, like wiping down treadmills and stuff, like all that type of thing. And then that job at Everton came up. I was at Everton in the community, so the way that worked is was like I think we started at like 20 hours a week, and you went into 5 schools a week, um, doing kind of PE support, as it was called. It's still called PPA
Yeah.
cover, but now you can't really say that. Like I used to just go into the school and the teachers would be like, "Oh, you're off, okay, they're yours," and yeah, so like, and then through Everton, that's how I came to Kensington. Uh, and yeah, just I absolutely love Kent. I loved Kensington. I love one or two of the others as well. But Kensington, like
Yeah.
you just from day one, people make you feel welcome. And I can say, like, of 99% of primary schools that like I've worked in a lot, probably like more than 40 over the years. You go in and some people just completely ignore you. You're like, oh, you're not my usual crowd of friends, so I'm not going to acknowledge you or talk to
Yeah.
you. But Kensington wasn't like that. Like people are falling over themselves to get to know you and make you feel welcome and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And my first kind of link teacher in there was who now the head teacher is, and I just got on really well with with Mrs. Davis from the start. And yeah, just from there, and then a job came up in the primary school, kind of PE support, and my official title is like a teaching assistant, but like we did it for years, didn't we? We just
Yeah.
ran the PE in school, all the after school clubs and breakfast clubs and stuff like that, teams and competitions. It's good fun. I did really good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it came about.
It is a boss school, like, and like,
Yeah,
one thing, I like, as you said at the start, you've been there for about 12 years now, which, like, is a long time, to be fair. I mean, I was there for like 4 or 5, but you obviously have been there for 12. So, like, is it something that you imagined when you started? Not to say, obviously, I don't mean just in Kensington, I mean the actual job. Is it something you imagine you'd be doing for 12 years, like when you started PE teaching,
no,
let's say?
no, no, not at all. And even when I joined Kensington full time, because I was there 2.5 years part time.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought, yeah, 2 or 3 years, and then move on to the next thing. And that's not to say, because I've been there so long, there's a lack of ambition or whatever. But I just really enjoy going to work. I think when you can enjoy work, that's 90% of the battle.
Yeah.
If you're getting up for work in the morning thinking, oh yeah, it's going to be a good day today, you're waking up thinking that. Like, not every day's perfect, is it? But
No, yeah.
you're going in and you're working with friends. Like, we just had a laugh for four or
Yeah.
5 years, didn't we?
Yeah.
Every day, while still like being very professional at the job.
Yeah.
In front of us, we're still able to have a laugh and build a good relationship with each other and the kids. Like, so, um, yeah, I never thought I'd be there this long. But I could see myself being there just as long now,
Yeah.
like another 12 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. Love the place.
I'm gonna, like, fast forward like a few years. So obviously, as you said, you were there for 12, and
Yeah.
so obviously about 7 years into your job, I joined, and obviously doing my, like, you're laughing already, and obviously, like, doing like the personal training, which I was doing for about 2 years, I think, before I actually started in Kensington. Like, you mentioned now you want to try and get back into, like, your fitness and getting out and just going out for a run and doing a few more bits. And obviously, like, you won't mind me saying this, I don't think, but
No.
it took you a while, obviously, to actually get up and go and do it. Like, we played footy and whatever else, but like, to cycle into work and to start running. So, like, how did you actually, like, because it kind of just happened in the end, like, you just decided to start doing it, or that's how it seemed. What actually made you get up and go and start running to work, or cycling to work and doing your, like, triathlons and stuff?
I don't know. That's such a good question. It's a hard question for anyone to answer. Like, how do you change, if you get me? I suppose, like, I'm quite lucky that I'm naturally, like, stick thin. I like quick metabolism, and I've been fairly active my whole life. So whereas the way I was eating, drinking. When I say drinking, like, me, I haven't drank alcohol in
Yeah.
5 years,
Yeah.
and But if it was somebody with like who wasn't as active or slower metabolism, I could have been quite a big guy. And I remember having a conversation with you. It must have been about 2015, 16. And I can't remember how it came up, but I kind of said, oh, I'm feeling heavy, like, and you said, yeah, like I could see a bit of weight under your chin, and a couple of other family members have said it as well. And it's when you get to that point, and it's not that dramatic, really, is it? We were just having a conversation, weren't we?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, that's that kind of just crept up on me. I did put a couple of stone on, just for doing nothing really. All I was doing was playing golf, and playing golf 2-3 times a week. But it's not nothing, is it? Because you're doing 8,000-9,000 steps and carrying 15 kilograms around on your back and whatever, and as well as being fun mentally and physically. But I wasn't really doing anything. I think it was more my brother Adam had been away in New Zealand, and when he was away in New Zealand, he was telling me all about these things, he was walking trails and that, and out running and keeping fit and stuff like that, and he'd be sending pictures back of him just walking on a cliff edge, and he's looking down one side to a 1,000-foot drop and the other side the same, and just pictures out of Lord of the Rings. And while he was away, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then he got back, and we were talking about it, and to be honest, it was just his attitude towards it was infectious. And he kind of said when he was in New Zealand, he was talking to a few guys about triathlon, and as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, it piqued my interest.
Yeah.
Because I'd done a triathlon, I think in 2012, and I did the swim leg of a triathlon in 2011, as a charity thing for a school. I was like, back then I was thinking, this is fun, but I never really took it anywhere, because as you know, when you're trying to get into something on your own, and you're going to this new thing, it's really scary, isn't it? Because you don't know what you're doing, you don't know where to put your, you don't know what to wear, you you don't want to go in and look like the stupid guy who doesn't know anything. That's probably surprising coming from me, because I'm naturally confident anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say a lot of that. I don't know if many other people could speak to this. It's just that fear of the unknown in anything really, not just sport. But yeah, I would say that the change was. I know it sounds stupid, that conversation we had, and then my brother coming back from New Zealand, and Sham was. Do you remember Sham was pregnant at the time? I was thinking. I think I said this to you as well. It's I don't want to be 40. I'm now 35. I don't want to be 40. I don't want to be overweight or obese, and be setting that example to my kid.
Yeah.
And there was no kid. It was just I was just looking into the future, going, no, that's not the life I want for me or someone looking at me. So I mean, that was really the main motivator.
Obviously, as I say, you started cycling into work and running into work, and how far is that for you actually? To go there and back?
6 miles there, 6 miles back, so it's 12 miles.
So the other day you done 170 kilometers. So how's it gone from going from your house and back to obviously expanding it to going to Wigan and back and Manchester and everything like that? And to be fair, 3 years or so probably doesn't sound a short time, but in a short space of time you've really up there. You really started up in it quite quick, I remember.
Yeah, I said before, I'd been really active. I think we first met in 2014, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because I knew you were a PT. I was like, oh, tomorrow's going to be the start. I'll start running tomorrow. And tomorrow never came. Did it for 2 years. But just because I had that active background, and my brother had been saying this to me, it's once you get going, you just retrain the mind and body really quick, and it just gets back to what was normal. And being active for me was normal. I mean, throughout all that time, I was playing Sunday league football and stuff like that. So it's not as if I wasn't kind of a couch potato all the time. I was still doing moderate, trying to keep moderately fit. But as to like building it up, I wouldn't really know. I would just say it just happens over time. Um, one thing really, it's goal setting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you'll know this as a PT. It's really difficult to stay motivated for something if you don't have something on the horizon to aim for. And for me, at that time, it was triathlon. So I think we did our first duathlon in March 2017, and it was late 2016 I started kind of taking the training more seriously, um, kind of cycling and running, and it was just getting ready for that. But even the stuff I was doing that you're talking about, it was nowhere near enough preparation for what needed to be done. So like you get to the event and then you do it, and it's great. Like I was like, oh yeah, it's brilliant. I did this, and then you think, oh, well, actually, what could I have done if I prepared properly? Um, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then it kind of builds from there. So like the sense of achievement from doing something like that's amazing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Just and that, like I'm even talking about a small like in comparison to what we're aiming to do, like a small duathlon. I remember thinking, oh my God, how do we manage that? You know, I've managed to run, cycle, and run for an hour and 40 minutes without stopping or
Yeah.
walking or being out of breath or getting sick or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, and then like. I'm really fortunate. Like I got a massive family, but Adam, who I kind of train with and do all the events with, he's always in my ear, going, you know, and the next time, you know, we could do this or we could do that or we could make this better. So, yeah, it's I don't know. I think I've said it to you before. I don't want to go in and do something and come out the other side now at this point and go, no, I didn't,
Yeah.
I didn't do that properly. I wasn't prepared enough because you'll only hurt yourself anyway, won't you?
Yeah. Well, I remember about 3 or 4 years ago, we used to play footy obviously every Monday down in
Yeah,
Everton, and obviously you got like quite a bad injury and had to have an operation and whatever else. So again, this is kind of something that we've maybe like touched over just in kind of conversation, but we've never really sat down and spoke about it. But like, how did that affect? Obviously, I know it took you off work for a couple of months. So how did that like halt your training at all? Like, is it still causing you any problems now, like mentally or anything like that? Have you ever suffered like, like, have you ever thought you'll run, I don't know, a 5K and feel like it's hurting when you actually don't know if it is hurting, if that makes any sense?
yeah. Well, at that time, I hadn't done any triathlons or anything like that. We were just playing football, weren't we, a couple of times a week, um, amongst a few other bits and pieces. And yeah, it was a dodgy tackle by me. It wasn't even the other guy. I put a tackle in and kind of got kicked and turned and rolled my ankle, and yeah. But I had that surgery and there was nerve damage from the surgery. So like I would say a year on from the surgery, it was all okay. It was all like it was just going swimmingly because I was on this like nerve blocking medication. That's what actually made me kind of give up the drink. Not like
Yeah.
I drank a lot anyway. I
Yeah.
probably only had a beer at Christmas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But because you couldn't drink and be on that stuff. And then about a year later, I stopped taking the medication because I wasn't having the nerve pain or anything like that. And that's when I really seriously got into the triathlon and doing all the different events and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, I would say in terms of the injury, I could never really play football again. Even like six months ago, you'd asked me to go down and play with yourself and Tom, didn't you? And I was
Yeah.
like, I would actually love to. I would love nothing more than to go for a game of football now, but like I can't. I can only just run in a straight line, and because like if I change direction too quickly or something like that, the ankles is too weak. I know it sounds stupid because you can like run for miles and miles and miles, but yeah, if you do something unexpected or like
Yeah.
a quick change, yeah, it's game over. And I've still got that stupid nerve pain. So when you're talking about like I don't, sometimes you don't know if the nerves hurting or the like the injury inside the joint is hurting, and that's like that affects the training even up to now. Like some days you can't run
Yeah.
because I can't move my ankle properly or whatever. So if I can't run, I get in the bike. Can't get in the bike, just go swimming and try and do something else, and try and not let it be an excuse not to do anything just because there are a lot, there's loads of excuses ready and waiting, isn't there? Like,
Yeah.
like I couldn't do that because I had to do this or that or some work in the garden or whatever, um, or whatever. Like, you just have to argue with yourself in your mind. We all have those conversations with ourselves, don't we? Um, what I would say is, if this helps anyone, pretty much every training session in my mind, I'm going, I don't want to do that. I can't be bothered. I want to sit down. I want to watch Netflix. But then I start arguing with myself and I trick myself. Oh, well, if you get out and do this right, we won't do that tomorrow. We won't train tomorrow. And then when tomorrow comes, I have that same conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we can't just like train yesterday. We have to do it today as well. I don't know. I tricked myself. Did I talk to you about this before?
Don't think so.
Always like having that conversation in the mind. If you don't do it and I seem crazy, well, that's okay. But I'm just assuming everybody does it. It's like, when you don't want to do something, you just have to talk to yourself.
Like when you had that pain, like the nerve damage after the operation, I remember like you was in quite a lot of pain. I remember like you were saying, it would keep you up at night and that. Did you think like, because like to me, like from the outside looking in, I thought you might never recover from it in terms of actually even run again like properly? Because I remember sometimes you'd show the kids like a little like a sprint or something, or you'd run them through like a beanbag and a hoop, and you'd come back and say, I can feel that like in my ankle. And I used to think, geez, like, is he actually going to be able to, play football again? And at this point, we hadn't kind of said that I don't think you'd said that you didn't think you'd play again, but I genuinely didn't think you'd be able to do long distance running or anything again. Like, did you ever have that, like, thought at all? No?
Not long term.
Yeah.
Because, like, me, I'm mostly, like, quite positive person. I'd be like, as much as something is an absolute pain in the backside in the short term, you never think, this could be the end of this or that. If I'd have known back then that I'd never play footy again, I'd been absolutely inconsolable.
Yeah.
But just because it happens over time, like, you just come to terms with it in your own way, and that's only like playing football. But like in growing up in Liverpool. Like, I've been here since I was 10, so I've lived in Liverpool longer than I ever lived in Ireland, 25 years. Growing up in Liverpool, like, football, I wouldn't have had any friends without football. Like, going to a new school, a new secondary school, if I didn't play football, like, it would have been a really lonely time. Like, and it was for a while, for a few months, until you get to know people, and that's just through sport and football. And if you're good at football in Liverpool, you've got friends forever. Yeah. Because it's just like, people in Liverpool live and breathe football, like, and that's brilliant. That's one of the things I really love about it, like, about the city. I mean, about the place. And it's just dead friendly anyway, isn't it? Like, especially if you like or are into like any type of sport, mainly football. But yeah, no, I'm extremely short-sighted in that way, because if you like try and look too far ahead, it's really easy to get like negative and down on yourself, and you just break it up into small chunks, don't you?
Yeah.
I would say that's like with a training program as well. If like I was training for an Ironman this year, and it was supposed to be next month, 12th of July. Like, we've been training for 3-4 years in preparation for it, building up from like sprint distance to Olympic to middle distance last year to Ironman. So it's not like I was going into this cold, but you do that much preparation and it gets cancelled. It was a bit like crushing, but also a bit of a let off because of the injury and stuff like that. So yeah, but that's what I talk about, just being short. Like, if you have a big goal, like for me, the big goal last year was got Ironman in July 2020. So in the summer holidays last year, I was talking to you, I was in the gym every day lifting weights, and I'd never lifted weights before because I didn't want injuries to stop me, like stupid injuries or silly niggles, or like to stop me doing the volume of training I needed to do. So the way we broke it down was, you look at a day and then you look at a week, and you don't look at the next week until you finish that week. Like, you have the overall plan, don't you? you know what's happened 6 months down the line. But if you look at it that way, I wouldn't anyway. I wouldn't get out of bed, and I'll be completely honest now. If I didn't have Adam at my heels all the time, you know me, I'd find some type of excuse not to do the training, not to do the training, or not to do the exercise. Like as much as I love it, like as you said, we went out on the bike the other day and did 170k, and it was really enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like it was a good laugh because, well, actually when I'm not like chasing at him for miles and miles and miles, but it's a good laugh, and like you're getting out and seeing like different parts of the different counties and places you never go usually.
Yeah.
But if Adam wasn't there going, okay, 7 o'clock in the morning, we're like, it's wheels hit the ground. He's saying, make sure you eat, make sure you do this, have the right nutrition, make sure you have enough water, bring some money just in case you need, he wasn't saying all this to me. I'd say 50% of the time I'd be like, oh, I'm tired today. Yeah. But yeah.
I want to know about, like, you mentioned nutrition there, and like, I'll be honest, and you know me as well, like, we both, even when we worked in the school, we would go and get a Tesco meal deal probably 5 times a week. But anyway, we would get like, we would get like bad food sometimes because like we kind of thought about, I remember we used to walk to Tesco and say, oh, how many steps have you done? And it was almost as if like, yeah, we've burnt enough here to kind of, and that's one thing that you've always said is you kind of do your training, or this is kind of what you used to say. I don't know whether it's the same mentality you've got now, but you used to say, I do my training so I can kind of eat what I want. Is that still like your mentality now, or has that changed with Ironman, let's say, like, with a proper goal in sight at all?
It's mainly still like that.
Yeah.
It's mainly still like that. We were even talking the other night. I would say, if in my mind, like if I'm going out to do like a 6.5, 7 hour like ride on the bike, and I get in and think, oh, I can't have that cake there. What? Of course I can. I just done all that exercise. Of course I can have it. But then, like with anyone, it's never one cake, is it? Or it's never one chocolate bar. It's like 3 or 4 in a bag of crisps or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like hard to stop. But man, I do get the guilt though. I do get the guilt because, like, before the lockdown, I kind of go and do a massive training session or a race or something like that, and then go to Mackey's after him, and it's a bit of that mentality. It's like, I've done the training and I got rid of the calories, so I can have these. And yeah. Probably, like, if I'm being honest, it's not justification, and we spoke the other night about, like, I wonder what type of, and I say athlete like very lightly, athlete I could be if I like treated the nutrition properly. Like, I would say, like, I'm not eating Mackey's every night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take away once a week, but yeah, as you say, a meal deal every day, it's not good, is it really?
And to be fair, like, you saying that to me, you probably feel a bit like, you probably feel a little bit daft saying things like that, but I get that from my clients all the time, like the amount of people who go, but I've done a training session, so I thought I'll treat myself, and it is easily done, and I do it, everyone does it. But that's one thing I was going to move on to. Like, we were speaking the other day, and we were saying, like, because you are beating your goals almost, or you're beating your times in almost every competition you seem to be doing, like, of late, or certainly before lockdown. Like, has it made you, like, kind of think about it a little bit more of after that conversation about, like, oh yeah, maybe if it did change? Because even the other day you were saying, right, no more cans of Coke, or once I go back to work, no more cans of Coke. And to be fair, when you do it, you do stick to it, to be fair, for a long time. Like, and same with drink. Like, as you said, you're never a big drinker at all, but I genuinely haven't seen you touch a drop in 4 or 5 years or something like that. So you have got good willpower, to be fair. So, like, has that, like, conversation, like, changed your mindset a little bit at all? Like,
At the moment, in the current lockdown situation, no.
Yeah.
No, like I said to you the other day, okay, this is the last day. The last day, no more Coca-Cola. And then the next day, I was just drinking it straight away.
You showed me a bottle yesterday and a bottle the day before, and I was thinking, wow, he's really savouring this bottle.
Same bottle, exactly. Shut up. It wasn't. No. I would say, in my own, in my defence, that's my one weakness.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola is my one weakness. And for me, it's one of them. It's an embarrassing weakness. Say when we were working together, if we'd gone to Tesco or wherever, and I did have a bottle of Coke, I'd hide it in my coat because I wouldn't want the kids or whatever seeing me drink it, because what type of example is that to be setting? And again, Orla, I don't want I see her looking at me drinking Coke, and I think, I shouldn't be doing this, but then it's hard, isn't it? It's hard. It's really hard. Not that I know it's only Coca-Cola, but for me, it's really that's been the real difficult thing for me to really get rid of. I would say, even from when we met, I don't eat as much chocolate. I don't It's weird. I really very rarely eat crisps. Maybe with lunch a couple of times a week. But since lockdown started, I've eaten loads. But Coca-Cola, it's the one that's the hard one to get rid of. But it will get to a time. I've done it before where I just have to get rid of it for training or whatever. I gave it up for 4 years once. This was before you knew me.
Wow.
And then I gave it up for a couple of years, didn't I?
Yeah.
I don't know, 2015 onwards, and then it's hard. On a hot day, cold can of Coke, there's nothing like it, honest to God.
I blame darts nights, to be honest.
Every night.
Every night.
I know. Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's hard. And then you're like the little devil on my shoulder. Have a can of Coke, Rob.
It starts night again.
You just go off screen.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, by the way, how many people actually know that that's a special skill of yours?
Do you know what? I think it's you that makes me feel like it's a special skill, to be honest. I'm drinking water on here, Rob. Give me 10 minutes when it starts tonight. I'll be on the hard stuff. That's a can of Coke, by the way.
Yeah.
I want it, before we finish, you mentioned Ironman, and obviously you were meant to do it next month, and I know that you certainly picked up the training the last couple of months as well in preparation for it, and even started doing some PT sessions just to kind of alter your training a bit. But are you kind of relieved that you've got another year to kind of build into it, or did you just want to kind of not get it over and done with, but now you've got to wait another year? Do you know what I mean? Is that kind of it's another year of this tough training, or are you just in a routine of tough training now?
No, I hate the tough training. I absolutely hate it. Maybe I've just got the wrong mindset for it. But no, I don't hate it. I hate the idea of going to do it.
Yeah.
Which I probably a lot of people are the same, whether they choose to admit it or not. But yeah, I just we started doing triathlon, and then when we were doing triathlon, we were on a sprint one, and I saw this guy with a tattoo on his leg. I told you about.
Oh yeah.
And it was at the end of the race. I was like, oh, what's that tattoo on your leg? I knew nothing about Ironman at the time, and he was like, oh yeah, it's an Ironman tattoo. I was like, oh, what's that? And he was telling me all about the distances and stuff like this, and then he was like, oh yeah, and you can only have one if you've done an Ironman. And I was like, this was on my first event. I was like, I'm getting one of them. I want one of them. And it was that time, first race, 2017. I was like, I want one of those tattoos, right? How are we going to do it?
Yeah.
It's so vain, isn't it? It's so shallow. But it's become more than that. It's become more than that. It's it is as much as the idea of the really long and hard sections are horrible. It is a lifestyle choice, because when the Ironman was postponed, it would have been really easy just to go, oh, well, I'll just go back to doing an hour on the bike or something like that. But I don't know if I'm answering your question. I was relieved because my ankle wasn't ready for the running load.
Yeah.
And it very rarely is. I did my first ever marathon in October, and I got to 20 miles and just absolutely hit the wall. and that's just because I didn't have enough miles in my legs. So it's just that thing, fail to prepare, prepare to fail type thing. But I with the running, I'm not too harsh on myself just because of that injury, but I also try not to make excuses. But so it's a bit like it felt terrible that it's off because you put all this work in, and I'll be honest, I just want to get it done. I just want to get it done to say, like, it's a bucket list type thing for me at this point. Get the tattoo.
Yeah.
But like, I want to go back to doing sprint triathlon. It's so fun. It's so fun. You can get by on like maybe 6-7 hours a week of training, and the event takes you an hour and 15, like hour and 15 max, and it's a great atmosphere. It's fast, and then you're not like knackered for days and days after. Well, it depends how hard you push. You know what I mean? But then it also gives me the time to prepare for next year. But then I thought this last year, it was around this time last year, I got in the gym and we were lifting weights and everything was great. And then I don't even know how I really hurt my ankle. I've absolutely no idea. Maybe, yeah. I busted it up. We ran up Snowdon, me and Adam.
Oh yeah.
And then we decided to run down. Like, it's just, I'd advise nobody to do that. Like, just well, no, like fell runners and stuff maybe, but like if you feel like a weak ankle or weak joints, don't do that. Should have just walked down. The run up was like not easy. It didn't take much of a toll on like the ankle, but I remember turning it a couple of times, and that was like 3 weeks before the marathon. It's such a stupid thing to do, but it was fun, and it's another one of those bucket list things. Like, how many people would say, "Oh yeah, like I went to Snowdon," I went to Snowdon. I didn't walk. I ran up Snowdon. It's a cool thing to say. Like, and for me, I feel proud. Like that type of thing.
Yeah.
Proud of doing it, and about the racing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I like probably don't even play as much golf anymore. I still love golf. It's my number one thing. But like, golf takes like 4 or 5 hours if you add in like getting ready and going to the course, playing, and then getting home. And I'm starting to think now. Oh, right, there's 5 hours that I could use towards training.
Yeah.
So if I do like 5 hours of golf and then I'm out on the bike for 6-7 hours, like when does that doesn't leave time to see Shan and Orla? So it's like that, it's that battle, isn't it, of trying to get your work done.
Yeah.
Like your exercise training and trying to have like that family time and not feeling massively selfish, if you know what I mean. So that's another guilt thing. I would say a lot of people. Do any of your clients ever talk about that? Having a guilt?
Not really, to be honest with you. No. To be fair, though, I think most of my clients are still around my age anyway, without kids, or some of them don't even have like partners, or the partners live away. So I think like that side of stuff. And then also, quite a few of mine work in hospitality anyway, so their hours are crazy mad anyway. So I think just getting into the gym is just kind of a blessing for half of them anyway, without feeling. I think they feel guilty about the hours that they work rather than things they do outside the work. Like,
I was listening to yours and Tom's podcast, and it was eye opening. I gave you your feedback by text, didn't I? Your feedback, like my thing with that is like I listen to a lot of podcasts getting through training sessions and stuff like that. I said I texted you last night, I didn't expect to be into it as much as I got into it, because like I normally listen to podcasts with famous people like Joe Rogan or something like that, listen to one today with Joe Rogan and Tony Hawk, and I only listen to it because like everybody knows who Tony Hawk is, well, of my age maybe, I don't know. So to just like, I wouldn't have listened to it if you weren't my mate. I don't mean that in a bad way. But then when I was listening to it, I was like listening to some of the things Tom was saying about, about his experiences, and it got me thinking about like, the pitfalls we all face and stuff like that. I just found it really, really, really interesting, and Tom was so honest. To be honest, if I hadn't heard Tom's the other day, I probably wouldn't have been as honest.
Yeah, but that's kind of why though. That's kind of why I started, because as I said, like Tom's, I expected to just we kind of just go over his hours of work and go over his training, and that's kind of all I expected. But because like the reason I did want to do is just, as I said, even though we speak every day for the past 5 years, there's still like questions like about your training that I just never ask, because we'll go on to the next thing before we know it, and we've both got the attention span like it's just like it's non-existent. So yeah, I don't know, it just, that's kind of why I've done it with certainly people I know anyway, because it's just interesting to me. And like I say, you do totally different training than what I do and what Tom does or my clients. Do you know what I mean? You've got a goal, like different goals each time. So yeah, that's kind of why I've done it. Like
Yeah, I mean, it was brilliant. Well, like, and I don't even know Tom that well, right? Like,
yeah,
I probably spoke to Tom twice or something like that. But it was fascinating to hear just what made him go down. Like, not what made him, but just because he did, like, how do you say it? It's like he wasn't purposefully choosing the things he was doing. It's just what was happening at the time, and and it's just the lifestyle he was that he went along with. Like, I don't know how to describe that, because I'm not Tom.
I think it was just like he kind of worded it well, and it was just like an experiment for him, what he was doing, and he kind of just fell into it. But I didn't know all that. Do you know what I mean? I knew a certain extent of it, but I didn't know how bad it was. And as I said, that's a bit of an eye opener for me. But like I'm made up with it, and he's made up to kind of say it to as many people. So
yeah, I found the when he was talking about his mental health was suffering, I found that kind of refreshing, because fellas especially, I'm not being sexist, but fellas especially are, like, in many respects, me too. Like, we're quite open and honest with each other anyway, but they're not, like, they're afraid to talk about how they're feeling and stuff like that. And he wasn't, and I would say the more people that listen to it and learn from his experience, the better. Like, because it definitely was an eye opener. That one as an opener was brilliant. Could help like loads of people.
Yeah,
and I think lots of people will see themselves in some of the things Tom was saying anyway.
I hope so. Good. I do hope so.
So go back and listen to episode 1 if you haven't listened to it.
Well, that's it. Like I said, it's just different. That I didn't know stuff about Tom. I done a podcast with our Rachel yesterday. There was stuff that she kind of said I helped her with in like a mental, not mental health, but kind of a mental state at a certain time a couple of years back, that I helped, with the training and that. And then obviously yourself, as with your injuries and stuff, there's stuff that I didn't really know about you really, because it's, as I said, it just kind of comes and goes so quick, and we speak about so many different things throughout the day that we never really stay on topic with one thing. So like, that's kind of why I asked you to come on, just because it'd be interesting for me, even though I know I think I know there's still be stuff that I don't.
Well, there's a few years ago you helped me out massively with a mental health issue anyway. I would say yourself and Chris in particular in work, me and Shahan, we'd wasn't a miscarriage, like it went a bit further down the line, and it was like it was hard for Shan at the time. So like at the time I was just trying to be everything's okay, just trying to be strong for Shan, and then coming in to speak to you and work, like speaking to you about it and work, and it was only through like voicing things that I was going through in my head at the time that helped. You know what I mean? And I would say definitely people who don't have that outlet, and like you're one of my best mates. I'm not even talking to like as my trainer at that time.
Yeah,
it was just getting that type of thing out in the open. It helps massively, and I only mention it because like listening to Tom talk, like I listened to Tom yesterday or the day before, made me think directly about those experiences and how you helped me with it. Just as a friend, not even saying like solutions. You weren't even giving me solutions. Same with Chris. Like I would say, and it doesn't have to be about solutions, does it? It just has to be about like listening.
That's exactly.
Listening and talking.
Yeah, that's the best thing. Obviously, just to kind of speak up, isn't it? Like they always say, speak up, and you know me more than most people, like that. You know kind of what I've had to go through in the past, or what I am going through still, and that the one thing I'll always tell people to do, like I'm always, as I said, I have got a bad attention span to stuff, but if there's ever like an issue with someone, if there is like an issue with someone, I will sit there and listen and try and help in some way, like no matter who it is really, even, and you know me, even if the people I don't really care for, I'll still, if I can help them, I will, like, do you know what I mean? So so that's kind of why I want to do
Don't
these.
Talk about your mum and dad like that. That's a bit harsh.
I said don't really like them, not don't like them at all.
Yeah.
But nah, listen, like, thanks for coming on, Rob, anyway, and giving, like, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour of your time, or whatever it's been. Hopefully you still want to play some darts if you can. Like, I know you're in work tomorrow, so no pressure.
As long as I get my appearance fee, I'm happy. I
won't say what the appearance fee is after what we just went
No,
over.
don't. It's not a kind of code.
It's definitely not.
It's 2.
Rob,
I know.
Nice one. It's a nice one. Thanks very much for coming on, and I'm sure I'll speak to you in about 30 seconds.
Yep.
Nice
See
one,
you,
Rob.
buddy.
Bye. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on social media, all at J Harris PT.